Hello, and welcome to Thailand. The following presentation was created by Montana Wiles. The region for Thailand is the kingdom in Southeast Asia. Thailand is bordered in the west and the northwest by Myanmar, in the southwest by the Andaman Sea, in east and northeast by Laos, and southeast by Cambodia, and south by the Gulf of Thailand and by Malaysia. The area is 35,444 miles. The population is 20.18 million. And the largest city is Bangkok. The language that is spoken in Thailand is mostly Thai. About 85% of the population speaks Thai. Thai is sometimes referred to as Siamese. The spoken language is believed to have originated in the area which now is the border between Vietnam and China. There's 4 different types of languages. One example of this is certain words are only to be used by the Thai royalty, creating a royal language. The Thai alphabet uses 44 consonants and 15 basic vowel characters. Unlike Chinese language, the system is alphabetic. So pronunciation of a word is independent of its meaning, like the English language. On another hand, though, Thai is tonal, like Chinese, and unlike English. This means that each word has a certain pitch characteristic with which it must be spoken to be properly understood. The Thai language uses 5 different tones. One is mid, low, high, rising, and falling. English is also taught in all public schools now in Thailand. Some of the cultural history in Thailand are that the ancestors of modern Thais came from southern China between the 10th and 13th centuries. Thailand is a nation that is built on several distinct pillars, very heavily Buddhism and monarchy. There is a hierarchical society. The young people respect the elders, and everyone in the community respects the monks. The first Thailand in record history is said to be Kingdom of Sukhothai, which is established midway through the 13th century. As colonialism started to shape Asia between the 18th and the 20th century, all of the neighboring areas to Thailand fell to European power. Thailand did remain a sovereign state, though. It used the British and the French rivalry to create a buffer zone between the nations. In the culture, there's a lot of different etiquette rules that are very important in Thailand. The first one is to respect the monarchy. You are not allowed to talk bad about the king or his family. It's very strictly forbidden. Touching another person's head is taboo, as also pointing at the feet. Light skin is a symbol of wealth, and spirits are a large part of Thai culture, and everyone believes in ghosts. The religion is very important to the Thailand culture, and the religion that is practiced is Buddhism, which has been practiced for at least 100 AD. It has a deep impact on Thai culture. Although Hinduism has impacted Thailand in some ways, like their art and literature, and then there is heavy Muslim influence in the south of Thailand. About 90% of Thais call themselves Buddhists, though. In Thailand, they practice their religion in these gigantic, beautiful Buddhist temples. They're called Wat in Thai, though, and they are throughout the country. They're known for their golden decorations, their ornate buildings, and their unique architecture. There's a lot to be discussed when referring to the food history in Thailand. It originated with the people who immigrated from the southern Chinese provinces. Historically, there was many Sichuan influences in Thai cuisine. Thai food was influenced later on by the European cuisine as well, after contact with Portuguese missionaries and Dutch traders. So there has been 4 different cooking styles made up to make up Thai food now: the northern, the northeastern, the central, and the southern. Thai food makes up a unique blend of 5 different types of tastes, which are sweet, sour, bitter, salty, and spicy. It was found that Thai food used to be a lot hotter and spicier, but they've actually mild out their food since. So Thai food makes up a lot of curries, and they're usually identified by their color, which is green, red, yellow, and orange. The thing that makes Thai curries unique compared to Indian curries is that they use coconut milk, and that replaces the ghee of Indian curries, and it adds more of a smoothness to Thai food. Thai food has a specific also etiquette to it. So you should start your meal with a spoonful of plain rice on its own, and this will emphasize the importance of the rice to the Thai culture. Secondly, you should only take a few spoonfuls at a time from the serving dishes and make sure you leave some food in the dishes and on your plate. This will emphasize the generosity to your hosts. And you should not ask for chopsticks and use a spoon and a fork for the white rice. Some places also let you consume the sticky rice, white rice, with your hands. Some of the foods in Thai culture are they consume lots of curries. There's different colored curries that distinguish them. One example is green curry. They also have things like pad thai, green papaya salad, tom yum. They consume a lot of rice. Rice is a very important dish in their meal and in their cultural practices. Some beverages they have are iced tea that's specific to Thai, and iced coffee or bale juice. Some desserts that they use are coconut dumplings and mango sticky rice. For the Thai dish, I made a pan-fried roti bread or chapati. It's sort of like, I would compare it to pita bread and tortillas. So the ingredients in this is 3 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon baking powder, 1 tablespoon kosher salt, 2 tablespoons olive oil, and 1 cup of water. I would like to say that I thought this would be a lot easier than it was. And as you can see, I did not make them perfectly, but they were still yummy and enjoyable. So the steps to making the roti bread are you mix those ingredients that I said in the last slide in a bowl and create a ball, and then you let the dough sit for 30 minutes. Then you separate them into little balls. This recipe makes 6, and you roll the pieces of dough into the little balls, and then you flatten the dough, which I did not have a dough flattener, so I think that's where I messed up. Then the third step is that once they're flattened, you add oil to them and in the pan, and then you fry them on both sides kind of till they're like bubbly. And then, when they're brownish, you remove them and then you serve. Thank you for listening, and here are the resources that I used.